Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your
hosts,
Mike.
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
So, it has been the most interesting first couple weeks of the new year. It really has. It's been interesting.
You know what? It hasn't been crap. I will give this. It hasn't been crap.
Now, you're probably going to be listening to this around the beginning of February, so I got to put that context on it. But we're recording this like the middle of January 2022, just for point of reference. And I feel like you can't get to the things that you would need to get to for what you mentioned.
What?
What you said. What did you just say before that?
I have no idea.
And you're chastising me for forgetting?
Well, you've been babbling for like 100 years since I said anything, so I said 2022 hasn't been crap.
No, it hasn't been, and that's what I'm saying. There's been
it hasn't been crap yet.
But it's also been quite interesting, wouldn't you say? Like weird business deals coming from weird places,
Sure.
And
We'll go with interesting.
That's really weird.
I'm going with not crap. You can go with interesting.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's been odd to me. It's like no other year, which I suppose makes sense because last year it was the first year of COVID.
No.
Yeah, it was crossing over last year. 2020 to 2021, it was crossing over. So it 100% was the first year.
2020 was the first year of COVID.
Yes, from 2020 to 2021. That was the last year. Then this year.
Now we're finishing off.
Then this year from 21 to 22.
Pandemic.
This year from 21 to 22, you're in the second year. You'd think that you'd know better, people in general, on like how to act, what really is a law, what's just a suggestion, that kind of stuff, right? Like you think people would know that by now. But because the messaging switches all the time, the government has people believing one thing one day, another thing another day, and then some people still believe the first thing because they never heard that the government changed its mind. So then they're arguing with people about things, and it just goes on and on and on and on and on. It all comes back to the government having no clear communication capabilities whatsoever. And so talking about communication capabilities, this young lady over here, I managed to find a doctor who's helping me with my headache problem and my super stiff, mad, angry, nasty muscles in my neck area and my upper back.
For some context, he's been complaining for like 3 months about headaches. My elbows have been attacking his back.
Accurate. Pain level like 9 when she gets in there. That's how hard she's hitting it.
Well, you were at a 10, then I attack you and it's a 9, then I'm done attacking you and it's a 4. I mean, It seems like a win.
Yeah,
really.
No, definitely. But I was on my way to my first real treatment, and she's calling me.
And he ignored me.
And the first time I was ending a call with our friend who's up north, and then the call had ended, and then the second one came on, and I hit it, but instead of hitting the accept, I hit the reject. So then I was calling you back when you went, and then that's how I got through to you, was I called you back.
Mm-hmm. So this was fun. This guy over here, he leaves at 10:47 for his appointment.
Yeah, so this is what she called me about. This right here.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I've ever called you with an emergency situation when you've been headed somewhere else before until this.
Yeah,
this felt like an emergency to me.
That was the first time. I would agree with you.
And I realized if I would have called you like multiple times back to back, you probably would have hung up on Deborah and been like, yo, she needs something. But
okay. You can also send honestly,
a SOS?
a text message that says, call me right away, because it comes up on my watch.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you've never gotten a text from me like that, so you would be
so I'd like call right back,
Anyway, he leaves at 10:47, okay? And at like 10:50, and I was on a call with someone. At 10:50, I'm getting like somebody from Napa is calling me like over and over again. I'm like, go away, telemarketer. Well, not a telemarketer.
Yeah, someone wasn't using the golden rule that when you're getting something delivered on the day, pay attention to the phone numbers that come up and answer. It's a sacrifice you have to make on those days, but that's okay, because I've done that too. That you get in a mood and you just don't want to deal with them. So anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so then I get a message from my grocery delivery person saying my groceries are too heavy and I have to come and get them, and they're not going to deliver them. And I was like, well, I can't come and get them. I'm not home. You have to deliver them. No, I didn't say I'm not home. I said no one's available to come help you.
Yeah.
Usually I say I'm not home. Anyway, nobody's available to come and get you. So you have to deliver them. And then she's like, they're too heavy. I'm not delivering them. And then she sends me a picture of them stacked up outside of the leasing office. Well, my call happened to end like right about this time. And I'm like, look, it's your job to deliver these groceries. Please deliver them to my door. Thank you. And then I don't get any more messages. And then the next thing, it's like exactly 11 o'clock from the camera that I looked at earlier, and somebody's hammering on the door.
I saw that too.
My first thought was, oh, heck, it's probably one of the leasing office people, and they've brought me some of my groceries to tell me that they're there. Because our leasing office people are freaking fantastic.
Yep, they would do that.
Yeah, so that's the only reason I opened the door, man. And so I open the door, and there is a lone bag of my groceries sitting there. And this, like, Beetlejuice-looking psychopath at the bottom of the stairs.
That's a great description.
And so I figure out in my head that this is the grocery delivery person. And I'm like, okay, so now you're going to deliver the rest of them, right? And she's like, you can get your lazy ass over there and get the rest of your groceries. Oh. Alrighty. Enjoy being fired, was my response to her. And then I slammed the door and went in search for laundry basket, because I don't like to carry bags. It cuts my fingers.
Uh-huh.
So I find laundry basket and wander.
Man.
I find laundry basket, wander over to the leasing office to where I see there's no groceries piled up where the picture was taken. I'm like, oh my God. Did some psycho steal my groceries?
So she took him back because you said that she was going to get fired. So now she's mad at you.
Yeah.
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 I see.
Yeah.
Nothing she's done so far is wrong at all, right?
Of course not.
Nothing. Okay. We'll revisit that, but we'll go with that for now.
Anyway.
Okay.
So I grabbed my laundry basket. I'm just going to go get my stuff. I'm like, I've had it with this. I'm going to complain to the grocery delivery company. Whatever. No big deal. It's fine. I'm mad as hell, but I'm fine. This is when I called you the first time. With laundry basket in hand, headed to the leasing office.
All right. Oh, wow. I would have been witness to the whole thing had that been the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about stressing me out before my appointment.
Oh, my neck veins are pumping. And so, okay, I was to the point where I don't see my groceries there. And I'm like, what is happening? And then so the neck vein is like, ba-boom, 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 right? And then I see this Beetlejuice-looking psychopath loading it back into her car.
Told you. She was mad at you, man.
And so I get to maybe like 10 feet away. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Can you deliver my stuff, please? And then she just keeps loading it back into her car. And I'm like, hey, give me my groceries. And then I'm getting closer because I can see some of them are sitting on the ground next to her vehicle. And I'm going to go put them in my basket. And then she gets all mad. And she says she yells at me that I'm super rude. Which I've yelled, but I don't feel like I've said anything rude yet. Maybe that you're going to get fired. That was a little sassy. But I wouldn't define it as rude.
Are you asking me or are you just...
No, I'm monologuing. Just
All
go with it. You can give your opinion after.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking if you're asking me.
Then, this Beetlejuice-looking psychopath decides to hurl a case of Dr. Pepper Zero in my general direction. And it missed.
Like, how big of a case?
Like a 12-pack.
12-pack, God.
And it exploded all over the ground. 6 cans physically exploded. Soda spraying everywhere. You know, you've thrown a soda can at the ground before.
Yeah.
Psst.
You got to work hard to have that happen when they're in the cardboard, though.
Well, she hurled them at me. And then she just got all mad and stomped away, got in her van and drove away. I finished loading up my groceries. The leasing lady has come out of the leasing office. She's like, "What is happening? What is happening?" Oh, I forgot the best part. She told me that she had COVID and had coughed all over all of my groceries. That, I think, is the cherry on top of all of this.
Yep.
Yeah. So the leasing lady is like, "You got to go home and call them right now, complain about this." This other weird dude that was standing there was like, "You got to go home right now and call them about this. That's unacceptable." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, okay? Here's my thought.
Give me your thoughts.
I think that no matter how rude you were, I'm just going to go that way for right now because we can whittle that down. Let's start with you were so rude. Let's just start with that.
We both know she took it that way. So
okay,
we can
yeah,
go
let's
with
just
it.
start with
go
that,
with
right?
It was rude. I don't really care.
Why would you escalate the problem?
Why wouldn't you just get in your van and drive away?
Yeah, just get in your van and leave. You already unloaded stuff. Why antagonize the already pissed off customer, especially when she knew you were coming out the door?
Yeah.
So it makes no sense from her side that she should use it as the excuse. And we're talking if you were 100% totally as rude as you could be.
Which we both know I can be.
But so we can assume that. But from what you've said, you were not. You were just sassy. And I mean, honestly, as a person who's been on this side of the sassiness, I have mistaken your sassiness for disrespect at times.
That's fine.
But I don't immediately turn into, a raging asshole.
But who escalates somebody who's that mad?
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't turn into a raging asshole. I clarify, and I clarify. Then I get an understanding of where we're at, and then I don't get mad at you. She just went from 0 to pissed off.
Let's be real. She thinks I'm a psychopath. We both know this.
Yes, that's the story she told them. That's the story she's
told everyone she knows. Yep. If I was a grocery delivery driver and I encountered somebody who was like screaming mad and who I deemed to be a psychopath, I would have left the shit at the leasing office where I had already unloaded it. I would get in my van and I would leave because who wants to deal with that? No one. Why would you escalate it? Why are you throwing a 12-pack of soda at somebody? I just can't. Like, what if I would have been armed? This is America. People are armed. How stupid is this person?
That's a very good point because, one of my very best friends is a big guy, like a big dude, and he's macho, and that's, I think, something that he and I have in common. We're sometimes macho to our own stupidity.
You a big macho dude?
Both of us are just super macho to our own stupidity sometimes, but it's okay. I love the guy. And he was telling me a story that he was coming down one of the main streets down here, and some guy cut him off. And so he drove up alongside the guy and started yelling and cursing at the guy, and having basically a rage fit at him, and then pulled off in front, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's cruising along and he goes to get gas, and the guy pulls in right behind him, and my friend's not afraid. He's huge. Mm-hmm. He looks like a basketball player and a defensive lineman for football. Like, he's
a big
huge
guy and a tall guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he
the dude followed him into the gas station.
Yeah, so he follows him in, and he confronts him right away. The hell's your problem, man? The guy's getting out of his little whatever it was, little truck thing. He's like, rah, 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 they're yelling at one another, and all of a sudden the guy goes around, pops open the trunk of his vehicle, and you hear, chick, chick.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, it's cool, man. It's cool. And took off, got out of there. And that's why you're absolutely right. That's a real life thing that did happen. So that's why you're not wrong. How crazy are you to go nutso on a person? Well, I mean, we already answered that question, but you go nutso on a person like she did on you?
Yeah.
And if you were a crazy person who happened to have you don't have to be crazy. If you were a concealed weapons permitted person, you're not even crazy. You might be so mad and think that was an assault on you, and you pull your weapon and fire. Well,
which I think is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
so.
But still, that Rittenhouse guy kind of proved that that's how it could work.
Right. I don't understand. I don't understand why you escalate somebody who's like that. We both know that this person deemed me to be crazy and lazy and rude. Crazy, lazy, and rude.
Well,
why you escalate somebody like that?
That's why I told you that I have my new social media policy that I'm following everywhere. And that is, if somebody wants to have a discussion and be a contrarian, that's okay. Let them. I don't care. They can think differently to me. You know that. But have reasons behind what you're thinking. Don't just say, I think, and that's it, and I'm supposed to believe you because? Who are you?
It's not even just a social media rule for you. You said it applies to everything.
Well, it's true.
Which is why the other day I said something to you. I can't even remember what we were talking about. I said something to you, and you were like, but why? And I was like, I don't have any reasons to back it up. That's just how I feel. Sorry.
And then I said, sorry then. Can't accept that.
Well, you said we couldn't discuss it, which is fine.
Yeah.
I expressed my opinion. It's really all I wanted. If I ever come up with any reasons to back up this thing that I can't remember, we can discuss it then.
Because here's the thing. That's a good point, but I don't want people to think I'm an asshole or some kind of giant dick for doing that. My reason for handling it that way is that I'm a very cut and dry kind of guy. So when she tells me that she has an opposite viewpoint on something to me, but doesn't have any reasons to back it up, I'm not going to disrespect her on it. But at the same time, why am I going to engage in any kind of discussion about the matter if she doesn't even know why she believes what she believes?
Well, because
how is she going to convince me? So, when you, like she said, when you've got your reasons buttoned up, come and see me and we'll talk.
Well, because you're very fact-based. You don't do emotion-based arguments. They're not your thing.
No, I suck at them anyway.
In order to have a conversation with you, there have to be facts to discuss, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that even a little bit.
Well,
I really like that about you.
But there would be if I berated you about it. Like, how come you don't have facts? How can you believe that? And try to force you to believe my way? No. Instead, what I do is I let you be. You can believe what you want to believe, but don't try to talk to me about it because it's just a waste of our time.
You notice I know how to handle that kind of situation with you without causing any kind of problem. Because you're just like, give me the facts. And I'm like, well, I don't really have any facts. It's just my opinion. Sorry. And you're just like, oh, well, you're admitting you don't have any facts.
So there's no point in us talking. Closed. There's no point in talking about it any further because you're not going to convince me that your side is the right way because you don't have a reason why.
And if it was important to me, I would have found reasons to back up my opinion.
And then come back and talk about it.
I can't even remember what it was.
Because there's always that. That's the point. Is there's always that opportunity, and I think it's the same way in life. I think if you try something and you bang up against a wall, try it again. Keep trying until you get through. At some point, you will get through. So, I don't know, guys. I think that's very, 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 very interesting. That whole topic is like...
And I've freely admitted the entire time, even telling you about it, that I was a little sassy with this person.
Well...
telling somebody to do their job and deliver my groceries that's probably a little rude.
I'll tell you something.
But
the difference between me feeling that this person would 100% be fired and... this person potentially keeping their job, to me, was whether or not you'd be rude to their customer service. And you got hung up on the first time because she told you not to cuss at her.
Right.
So, right there, again, remember, perception is in the eye of the beholder, right? So,
it's interesting.
If they think you're rude or crazy... when she starts saying, well, she was so crazy. She was screaming at me and yelling at me. Well, if you did the same thing to the customer service agent, they're going to be like, yeah, she actually was kind of that way. I see your point.
Well, it's interesting. It's okay. When you call this place and they call their customer service, their reps can't do anything about this kind of situation, really. Like, they can't. They're not.
It's not under their control. Yeah, it's not under their. This is a little more than I didn't get my pea soup.
Right. They can handle that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little more than that.
I called them like the second I got back into the apartment. And in complete hindsight, I should have calmed down. I should have talked to you first, but you weren't available. You were in your appointment. Well, no, I talked to you for like 5 minutes. Anyway. I should have calmed down before calling their customer service because I was really mad. I mean, I'd just been assaulted by a grocery delivery driver. So
You should have talked to him about it. Mitch.
yeah. But so yes, I was rude to their customer service, the first customer service person, when they told me that there was nothing they could do about it and they just had to escalate it, and that I would hear back in 24 hours. The 24 hours thing just tweaked me a little. Anyway,
Well, sure,
so then,
because you've had this person tell you that they had COVID and they coughed all over your groceries.
right.
And you've had them throw groceries at you and break them open and ruin them. I mean, you're supposed to wait 24 hours to replace that. What if you were having a party that night? Yeah. Now you got to go run around and take care of it yourself when this company was supposed to fix the problem.
So then I talked to you, like longly talked to you, and then I called them back.
Longly.
Well, I couldn't think of it. I talked
like
to you
that
for more
word.
than 37 seconds. How about that?
You sure did.
Anyway, so I called their customer service back, and I was extremely level-headed with the second person. They said that, they told me the same thing, 24 hours for this person to call me back. Whatever. I'm over it. The second person was very nice. He refunded my money for my groceries that were destroyed. No big deal. Then the dude, their critical response team people, called me back, and I was like, I totally understand that I was rude to your first customer service person, because he told me their recorded message that was playing while I was on hold told me that the call is recorded and will be like sent with the case, whatever. So I was like, well, he has the recordings. I'm just going to own that I was rude because I was angry.
Which is the exact right thing to do, by the way.
And I was super level with him.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good moment to think about,
Yeah.
because what she realized was, all right, I had a part to play in this debacle. Right. No matter how minor. I mean, that's the thing I always say. Like, it doesn't matter if it was from 0 to 100. It doesn't matter if it was a 1 or a 99. It's a bad thing, and you want to get rid of that bad thing.
Right.
So you owned it, though. You were like, okay, I own a part of this, and you told the guy that, and
he said he completely understood.
That's super reasonable of you.
Gets being mad. He's like, you were in a stressful situation. I totally understand that you were mad, and yeah.
Well, you know what happens, right?
What?
That's where that fabulous, mythical thing called your second chance kicks in. But see, had you gone cuckoo psycho on him, again, you're stamped as cuckoo psycho.
Right.
So what you did was fix it by
Not being
apologizing
cuckoo
to
psycho.
him for being a cuckoo psycho the first time. And like, if it were me, I'd even probably ratchet it up higher than I was. Like, if I was just a little crazy, I'd be like, I'm sorry I was so extremely upset, because make them think that you think it's huge. Then that last part, you just own it.
Right.
Yeah, it was me. I did it. Sorry.
Yep. Lost my temper. It is what it is.
Pissed off. And then, of course, they're going to say, his signal that you're getting your second chance is the whole, yeah, I understand what it's like to be that upset. I totally get it. That was just his way of going, but don't ever let that happen again, or else you're going to be stamped psychopath.
Honestly, I challenge you to find somebody who wouldn't be like on the limit edge of their rage machine after being assaulted by their Instacart driver. Really, it's no excuse. I'm just saying it's a people thing.
You had the sodas hurled at you, which I believe is assault, but all right, whatever. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not giving legal advice.
I mean, they broke one of the plants out front. It had gotten like a Dr. Pepper torpedo through it. That's how hard she threw it.
So, we were told to call the police and report it. And we did. And they didn't actually take a police report. They just took down the information and wrote it down. And then the officer logged down back at the station. He called in and he tells them, what he does is he calls in and he tells them that he has notes on the case, but he did not take a report.
Right.
And I mean, it makes sense because
it's fine.
What's he going to do? He's saying you didn't get hurt by anything. And I mean, I really think even if they did arrest her, district attorney would let her go. They're not gonna prosecute her for that.
No.
They're just not. So it's not even worth your time because you'd have to be a witness. It's just not worth your time, you know? So in a way it worked out for the best. But yeah, it was sort of frustrating that part didn't, get a little traction at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm just telling people, be careful with these delivery drivers. Like, go in a pair. 2 women, a man and a woman, 2 men. Don't be macho and think you should go by yourself because you face some crazy poo-poo. That's why when I'm here, I always go with you if you're leaving the house to go down there. Always. Yeah. I don't like sending you by yourself.
Well, and if I go by myself to pick up like DoorDash or whatever, food delivery, you watch from the balcony.
Yep. I try to
see
keep it safe. It's a crazy world out there, as you've experienced. And, but what I want people to understand is that she worked to, she realized that she had messed up the first call, so she worked to de-escalate the situation. And that's what more people need to do. It's like, I screwed up. I'm sorry. I own it.
Right. I mean, the critical response dude, he knew I acted like a psycho on the first call. I'm sure it was in the report that she gave him about, this person is crazy, be careful. I'm sure that was in there. Who wouldn't put that in there? When I used to take calls for people, I'd be like, this one's a real yeller.
Well, and honestly, that's what I was trying to get across earlier, was that he was probably, when he was making that comment about, okay, well, I understand what it's like to be that mad, he's basically saying to you, look, we've been told you're crazy. And we're going to go, because you're nice and calm right now, we're going to go ahead and give you a chance, but I'm telling you, you don't have any wiggle room here. And so you somehow sensed that and owned it and just took it to the bank, man, all the way.
Yep.
Boom. And that's a good lesson to learn, I think, as a human being, because all of us would get along so much better if we met on our agreed spots and didn't always fight over the things we don't agree on.
I've been thinking about it pretty much since 11 o'clock yesterday morning. The only thing on my mind.
Of course. Makes sense.
And thinking about it, there was nothing particularly heavy in my groceries. I mean, there's a 10-pound bag of potatoes, 2 cases of soda, and 6 bottles of Clear American.
When she says cases, she's meaning 12
12
packs, not a 24-pack, which is a case.
Oh. Sorry, I'm Canadian. Anyway.
That's exactly why. I wasn't to humiliate you or make fun of you. It was literally just so that the people listening understand that case isn't what they're thinking. So.
Okay. 12-pack. Anyway. There was nothing particularly heavy there. I mean, it's probably more than one trip, unless you're you. Big.
Well, but that was what they had the problem with. They didn't want to do more than one trip.
Right. You know what's funny? The heaviest thing out of all of that was the 6 bottles of Clear American. That's the heaviest thing. They're ridiculously heavy. And that's the bag that she brought to the door when she decided to come pound on the door.
Yeah, they're 2-liter bottles each.
Yeah.
They're pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's the bag that she brought. 6 bottles, 1 bag, I thought that was particularly funny. As I sit here and overthink the entire situation aggressively.
Well, nothing that you're thinking surprises me because we think alike.
I know, and you overthink everything like this too.
All of these kind of things too. Because, I mean, for one thing, I've been a chess player all my life, and you're taught to take a look at your losses, your setbacks,
right,
and see where you messed up and where you could have done better.
Right.
So why not do that with life? I had this altercation. If I have one like that ever again, what do I do? But have a look-see. Come up with an answer. That way the next time it happens, boom. So I think we're flogging the dead horse.
The dead bag. No, the dead case of Dr. Pepper. Yeah, we're flogging it. It's dead.
Flogging it. It's dead. We barely have any left, and what we have left is
super.
It looks like it's been through World War IV.
Somebody shot them with pellet guns.
God.
Ridiculous. Anyway, since we've killed the dead Dr. Pepper, good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.